What does it mean to have a spiritual awakening? It's a term that's used a lot, and I just want to simplify it. So it really just means the moment when you realized that there was never any separation between you and the Creator. And all the answers to every question you'll ever have is already inside you. Hey friend, it's Gabby, the Divine Pioneer, and welcome back to my channel. I wanted to go over this terminology of spiritual awakening and simplify it for those who think it's something super, grandiose. It's really simple and it's really uncomplicated. What I would like for you to first understand is that there is a moment in a person's human existence where they realize that God is not somewhere up in the clouds, and God is not a man or, somebody ready to punish you and strike you down if you do something wrong. What it really is God is in everything. And that's when you have an awareness. You become awakened to that understanding. And it happens at different parts of our lives. It happens at different stages. But be mindful of how you use that terminology, spiritual awakening, because it's constant. It's not something that happens like once in a lifetime and like, boom, you just awaken. Like, nah, bro. It don't work like that. You're constantly experiencing awakenings. You know what I'm saying? You're constantly going through different levels of existence and levels of your spiritual growth and development, right? So I'll tell you how mine started. I grew up in a Baptist church setting, and that's on my father's side, but on my mother's side, my grandmother who raised me was a Jehovah's Witness. So I also had Muslim uncles in my family as well, and they tried to teach me about the Quran. So I had all these different religious influences in a sense. Now, I did attend Baptist church every other weekend when I stayed with my father's side of the family. So there was a moment where I think I was about 13, and I asked my grandma, can I not go to church anymore? And yes, she was upset, rest her soul, but she somehow saw me and realized, yeah, you're not really getting the answers that you want from this, so I'm gonna allow you not to come. There would be points and times where I would ask questions and almost get scolded for asking, just things in the Bible that didn't make sense, and I'm asking questions. So once that started to happen for me, I started to realize that, I'm somebody who is inquisitive, and I'm going to ask questions when I don't understand something. But in this setting, it's not allowed. It's almost like disrespectful to God to ask questions, right? So what I began to realize is that I needed to go on my own journey and my own path to figure out what worked best for me, okay? Now, once that started happening, I started delving deep into all different types of modalities of divination. So I can consider myself, kind of well-versed in different areas, right? So I started learning about astrology. I started learning about numerology. I started learning about tarot. I started doing birth charts. I started, just literally trying to open my mind and expand my awareness. And then there was moments of clarity. You see what I'm saying? And those moments of clarity would align me with a more spiritual path. So this is why I don't consider myself a religious person, although I've, studied and lived a religious way for years. But as I began to develop into an individual, and separate myself from what, my parents and grandparents had taught me, I definitely now can say I'm a spiritual person, and I'm not a religious person. If you want to compare spirituality to religion, I mean, in actuality, most of us have the same goal, which is just to love. We're really saying the same things, just using different words. And what are words? Man-made things to help us label shit and understand shit, right? So, you know what I'm saying? It's not that complicated. But the point I want to make is there's never been any separation between you and your creator. That's the thing that you need to understand. So whenever there's any doubt inside of us, whenever we feel lost or confused or we don't know which way to go, this is when you have to delve deep within you to connect to God, to connect to the source. You understand? So that can look like so many different things. That can look like meditation. That could look like prayer, which is basically the same thing, right? Let me stop there. A big distinction that I realized from religion to spirituality is the way we pray or / meditate, right? When you pray, I know in my, grandmother's Baptist household, you had to get on your knees at the edge of your bed and look up into the sky and pray to the big man upstairs, right? And you couldn't really be asking for too much because you don't want to anger him. Because, what she used to say, something about God was a jealous God or something like that. So you can't love something more than you love God, or you can't want things more than you want God. And you know what I'm saying? So as a, young person, to be afraid of God just never sat right with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I want God to love me unconditional. God is the reason that I'm here. God created me as I am. So why would he not love me? You know what I mean? And I would ask questions like that and almost get popped, like backhanded. Like, what? You questioning God? Like, you know what I'm saying? So, in that way of, religion, it always confused me and always left me with so many unanswered questions. But what I realized in terms of spirituality when it comes to prayer and meditation, you don't have to use words to speak to God or to, tell God your heart's desire and, ask for the blessings that you wish to receive in your life and to manifest into your life. It's more like an inner knowing. It's like a silence. So when you meditate, you're not talking to God. You're going deep and quiet and still so you can listen to the God within you, because God speaks through you. You understand? So things like that is why, it just made more sense to me to own my spirituality, to step away from organized religion. And I don't knock it. Whatever way is necessary for you to get in contact with your source, with your higher power, with your higher self, with the God that is the creator, the most high God. Okay? More power to you. It's going to be unique. Your spiritual awakening journey is unique and individual to each and every one of us. So I always want you to understand that however you choose to talk to God is unique to you. For me, I talk to myself. That's me talking to God. When I answer myself, that's God answering me. People might look at you like you're crazy, and that's all right. Right? So at the end of the day, you go to God on your terms that feels the most natural to you. You understand? If God created you, How could anything you do be wrong? God is experiencing itself through you. Do you understand the significance of you being individual? Because that's who God made you to be. So your spiritual awakening is going to be individual. It's going to have a mixture of different modalities. You may do yoga and meditate. You may go on nature walks to connect to the source. You might be journaling, okay? You might use affirmations. You know what I'm saying? You might be a Buddhist. You might be a Christian. You might be, you know what I mean? Whatever. Okay? It does not matter, because at the end of the day, it's all God. God is in each and every one of us, and our spiritual awakening is that moment where we realize that there's never been any separation between us and God. God is always with us and always will be with us, in and out of time, and in this dimension and in the next. So I just wanted to do this video to clarify what the spiritual awakening is, to demystify and uncomplicate what is a spiritual awakening. That's all it is. I hope you got something from this video. I want you to know that the universe conspires on your behalf to give you all things that you need and want, and all good things come to you in divine order and in divine timing and love and light.